What is up, guys? It's Swimmer here, back again with some more Go Battle League action. I haven't been playing all that much, to be honest, because Ultra League has really kind of lost its appeal for me. With so many XL Pokemon now available, it is mostly just Great League with more Stardust costs. So, for example, I've been seeing a ton of teams that are like Skarmory, Swampert, and Galvantula, and that's a great league team, right? Like that's just a great league team. And it used to be that Ultra League Premier Cup was a distinct meta from Great League, and it really feels like that's sort of going away now. So haven't been enjoying it nearly as much, but I am doing some battles here, sticking with that Lapras double grass line that I've used for a long time. Um, Honestly, I've had the most success with it still, despite the fact that it is not nearly as good anymore as it was with so many new Pokemon like Skarmory coming in. Let's go ahead and get right into the battles. Alright, we have on this first match Lapras into Empoleon with two better counters in the back. The way to play this is to swap out right away, and they come into Talonflame. And so I want to make sure that I'm timing my charge moves to minimize the amount of free energy they're getting. And they actually decide to no shield. So really good call by them, to be honest, because eventually Tangrowth can sort of win that in the two shield, but in the zero shield they are able to win. So very nice call on their part. Um, they are able to get off another flame charge against the Lapras, which is not great for me. Going to stay in with this Lapras and build up and absorb the Drill Peck from the Empoleon. I can't really come in behind on energy and uh, into the Empoleon very well. So gonna absorb that Drill Peck, then swap out. It's a Gengar in the back. This is pretty much game over for me. Um, if I had shielded the uh, Tangrowth and tried to farm down, I might have had a little bit better time, but really tough to say. Uh, they are going to be able to take me out here with the Sludge Bomb. I guess the Sludge Bomb doesn't quite KO, but this Frenzy Plant, they're just going to let it go. And then my Lapras is way too low here to really do too much against this Empoleon. So this game's definitely over. Going to throw these Surfs just to basically make them not two shield flex on me. So I'm going to throw another Surf here. And they shield, so now I can quit. And I had two shields to none, right? So I win that game because I had two shields. So that's a good game. Well played by my opponent. Probably did have a win con there if I one switch with the Tangrowth, given that it was a Gengar and Empoleon in the back. But that's all right. So Lapras on the lead, gonna go ahead and swap straight into Tangrowth. And then they bring in their Charizard. This is actually all right. I'm just making sure that I count their fast moves here. So they're at 5 now. So this could be Blast Burn, but I'm guessing that they're going to go for the bait with the Dragon Claw. So I'm not going to shield here. It is a Dragon Claw bait, and that's going to allow me to get to another Rock Slide here. This is going to force a shield or take them out. We do get the second shield. That's very good for us. We can now safely come into our Lapras, really build up a bunch of energy. This could be a Blast Burn, so I'm going to go ahead and shield it up. It is a Blast Burn. That's good for us to successfully shield that. They catch a Surf on the Lapras. Very nice play on their side. But I can now bring in my Venusaur, and because of that extra chip damage from the Surf, I'm going to be able to get to this Frenzy Plant and take them out before they can throw a charge move. So pretty good for us. Willing to make that trade-off, to be honest. And then they're throwing some energy here, so I'm just going to let it go. It's just a Dragon Claw, so I'm going to be able to get to a Sludge Bomb no problem. And this is not quite going to take out the Charizard, but it is going to deal a lot of damage, and it should allow the Lapras to farm down, especially now that they've thrown another Dragon Claw. They definitely didn't need to throw that Dragon Claw. One Ice Shard is able to take out that Charizard, and then it's a Togekiss in the back, unshielded, against my shielded Lapras. Ice Beam is definitely going to be enough damage to take out this Togekiss, and that's going to be a good game. So, pretty solid there. Tangrowth on the safe swap there, really, really good. That's exactly the type of team that the Lapras Double Grass does really well against. Tangrowth draws out the fire type, um, and takes shields, and then Venusaur in the back just goes to town. So. All right, next battle here we have Lapras into Abomasnow. Abomasnow is a core breaker for this team. It's definitely a very tricky Pokemon to face. Generally, what I like to do is shield the first charge move. They almost always throw an energy ball first because it's quite common for Lapras not to shield. And then I'm going to go straight for the Ice Beam. I really want to get the damage. And then when they throw the next charge move, it's probably going to be another energy ball, and I'm not going to shield that. So I do let that go down or come through, and I'm going to go for Ice Beam. I really need to connect with this damage. They're not all that likely to want to shield again. They don't, so that's good for me. And then because I don't know what they have in the back, I kind of need to save this Lapras in case whatever it is, like in case it's a Charizard, I need to save this Surf so that I can hit it later. So I do go ahead and shield. They bring in Empoleon, so I'm going to safe swap into Tangrowth. I think it's probably a Kingdra in the back. I think I've seen that lineup a couple times. And they're staying in, which is pretty good news for me. So I'm going to go ahead and go for the Power Whip here. They do shield up the Power Whip. Totally fine. Going to go for another Power Whip. My opponent makes a great sack swap into Togekiss to catch this Power Whip, so that's not great for me. But now that I know what they've got in the back, I know that I'm in pretty good shape. I can come into Lapras here, throw one more Ice Shard and get to the Ice Beam. This is definitely going to be able to take out the Togekiss. And then I can now swap into my Venusaur. I can live a Drill Peck very easily, and I'm going to be able to get to this Frenzy Plant to take them out basically at the same time as they get to this first Drill Peck. So Frenzy Plant is going to go through here, take out the Empoleon, and that's going to be a good game. So with these ABB teams, sometimes you end up having to double shield in the lead like that if the Pokemon in the lead is really bad for your backplay. I mean, like Abomasnow is. So all right, into the next battle. We have Lapras into Ampharos. Two better counters in the back. Got to swap out. So they're actually staying to do 2 Volt Switches. So we have a pretty sizable energy advantage on this Talonflame. So I can go ahead and throw now. They did manage to beat me, or we basically CMP tied there. So I am going to go ahead and shield. I want to make sure that I get this damage off with Tangrowth. I don't think a Flame Charge would KO, but it would certainly be close. I'm going to throw 2 more Vine Whips and then another Rock Slide. We'll see what they want to do here. They do decide to shield, and so I'm actually going to go ahead and double shield myself. I know I can survive 1 more Incinerate if I have to, but I'm actually able to take it out with 2 Vine Whips, and that's going to take out the Talonflame. It is Gallade in the back, so I'm going to go ahead throw this Power Whip. They don't shield. That's really good for me. However, they are able to farm me down, which is not great. I'm going to come in with Lapras, and I need to hope they go for the Leaf Blade here. They do go for the Leaf Blade. I'm going to go ahead and swap now into my Venusaur to absorb the Thunder Punch from the Ampharos. Does not do very much damage at all, and then I basically need to have 2 Frenzy Plants leaving this matchup. However, I think I make a mistake here. I think I would have been better off to throw a Frenzy Plant first and force them to shield the Ampharos, because that Dragon Pulse did a lot of damage. And now I'm just going to be basically 1 confusion away from going down. They do decide to shield, but I'm going to go ahead and throw another Frenzy Plant here. and that's going to be enough to take them out. I think they were hoping to get to a Thunder Punch to take me out. They get one Confusion in, and fortunately they need one more Confusion for that Leaf Blade, so we can do one more Ice Shard and then hit the Surf, because Ice Shard is just a 3-turn move versus 4 turns for Confusion, so we're able to get to that Surf before they can hit the Leaf Blade. So really, really close game, but able to come out on top. I thought Gallade was going to sweep us there, but fortunately, we were just able to get to that Surf. All right, Lapras into Galvantula. I got to swap out of this right away. Tangrowth is my best response, but really just what I want to do is get shields down. And since this is still a favorable matchup for Galvantula, I'm hoping that they stay in. So they did decide to stay in. However, they get an extra Volt Switch through here. That's really, really bad for me. I definitely think the best way to do this is just to CMP tie the Galvantula on the first 2 lunges, and then because you only need 5 Vine Whips to get to the last Rock Slide, you actually beat it to the last one. So that's definitely, I think, preferred. I am going to be able to get to this because they decided to farm down, so they're going to have to shield here. Actually, they decide to let it go, so really interesting there. They come in with Lapras. So winning switch there is going to be pretty big. I'm able to get my Venusaur on this Lapras. Going to go for a Frenzy Plant here. This is quite good for us. We connect with the Frenzy Plant, and then they decide to save that energy on the Lapras, but I'm totally fine with this. I can just stay in here with Venusaur and go for 2 Frenzy Plants. First one is going to get a shield, and then we are going to go ahead and shield up this Rock Slide, or potential Rock Slide. It was just a Cross Chop, but I think we can make it to this last Frenzy, certainly before they get to another Rock Slide. This is going to be a Cross Chop, and I should survive. I do survive the Cross Chop. The Frenzy Plant here is going to be more than enough to take out this Machamp, and then we can come in with our Lapras. Their Lapras is so low that it's going to go down to a Surf, so my opponent does decide to surrender. So really close matchup there. Venusaur was very clutch in the back, so it was. I'm actually surprised that they didn't bring the Machamp onto the Tangrowth when I swapped that in, but that's still not a great matchup for Machamp, so I guess it kind of makes sense. And Machamp does have a quite favorable matchup against Lapras, so. But at the very least, I thought they would have tried to win switch. So pretty interesting, but well played by my opponent. All right, this next game, I make an absolutely stupid mistake. So Dragonite on the lead, great. I'm going to go ahead and bring in my Venusaur when they bring in their Machamp. And this is both to avoid the matchup with Dragonite and because it's my best counter. I decide to no-shield the Rock Slide, which is probably a bit of a questionable call. I'm going to go for the Frenzy Plant here, and I'm really hoping that I can get to another Frenzy because they try and farm me down. And it does look like they're trying to farm me down, so I'm able to get to this second Frenzy Plant to force the second shield, which was very good for me. I do force the second shield. And now what we're going to look to do is to come in with the Tangrowth and basically Vine Whip down this Machamp. So they're going to throw here. It's probably going to be a Cross Chop, so I'm going to go ahead and shield one. I know they've got back-to-back. They decide to swap, and for whatever reason, I decided to swap into my Empoleon, or my Lapras. Tangrowth is a great matchup against Empoleon, and they've got a Dragonite in the back. I think I was just assuming that they were going to come in with Dragonite, and so I'm like, oh yeah, I'll get my Lapras on this. But they come in with Empoleon. If I stay in with Tangrowth, I win this game easily. They have no shields. The Power Whip does a ton of damage. I could have done one Power Whip, shielded a Drill Peck, and then farmed down and had almost back-to-back Rock Slides. And then, alternatively, I didn't even have to shield the Drill Peck because Lapras, or Machamp was low enough that Lapras could have taken it out. So really poor decision on my side. They come back in with Machamp, and they're able to farm down the Lapras. I'm just going to let this go. It's just going to be a Cross Chop, but really, really poor decision making on my side. If I stay in with the Tangrowth there. That was definitely a one game. But because I swapped out, I definitely use that because man, Tangrowth with an energy advantage on Empoleon is such a dominant matchup. Like it, especially when you have a shield advantage too. So uh, kudos to my opponent, basically forcing me to make a mistake by aggressively swapping out. Uh, that's part of the reason that you do play aggressive like that and avoid getting farmed down. But I should have been able to win that game. So Swampert on the lead. Going to go ahead and go straight into Tangrowth because I do have two grass types in the back. They come into a Scavalier, and this is actually where I like to see it because the Rock Slide at least does neutral damage. They built up past the Mega Horn here, so I do want to respect the potential Mega Horn. It ends up just being an Aerial Ace, but that's good because that tells me that they have Aerial Ace and Drill Run, and I think I can survive the next Aerial Ace and still get to a Rock Slide. We sneak in that Vine Whip, which is definitely key, so the Aerial Ace does not KO, and we are able to get to this Rock Slide. Sneaking in that Vine Whip there was definitely the key to victory here. And they decide not to shield, so we're able to take it out. They come in with Swampert and Mudshot down, so they get a decent farm, but we dealt quite a bit of damage with Vine Whip. We come in with Venusaur now. It's Muck in the back, and this is exactly what we want. We want our Lapras lined up against the Alolan Muck, and Venusaur against the Swampert. So I'm not going to shield my Lapras to begin with. I want to basically take out this Muck as quickly as I can. They do get a Snarl through on the Surf, so that's not great for me. They're going to throw here. I do decide to shield this. I want to basically take out this Muck before my Venusaur comes back in. I really need to get rid of it. So able to, they actually decide not to shield, which is pretty interesting. So we're going to be able to get to a Surf here against the Swampert. And this is going to make it so that I can basically comfortably farm down with Venusaur if I want to. I'm going to force them to throw into my Lapras to burn some energy. They throw Hydro Cannon, it's still not going to take me out. They do Hydro Cannon, so I'm able to get to another Surf here. And this is almost going to take out the Swampert. I'm just going to swap into the Venusaur now and do a couple of Vine Whips to take them out. Doesn't really matter what this is. It doesn't KO. It is an Earthquake. Venusaur can easily tank one Earthquake. Even from a Shadow Swampert, it can tank an Earthquake. So able to Vine Whip down the Swampert, and that is a good game. All right. Getting into the next battle here, we have, let's see what we've got on the lead. We've got Lapras into Charizard. Well, this is definitely where we want to see it. It's going to stay in. Most Charizards like to try and catch, so I'm going to stay in and build up some energy. They come into Tangrowth, so I'm going to build up to the Ice Beam, and then come into Venusaur here. The extra Ice Shard damage is also quite nice against Tangrowth because it means that the Sludge Bomb puts it into a nice farm down range for Vine Whip. So the Sludge Bomb is going to put it into Vine Whip range. We still don't need to shield this Rock Slide. It does get us fairly low, but we can farm this down and almost have a Sludge Bomb ready. Charizard comes in and actually decides to throw energy. I'm totally fine with this. I was expecting them to tank the Sludge Bomb, but throwing energy is just as good. So I can come in with Lapras now and and then they actually come into Venusaur themselves. So they had a pretty similar team, but we've got a huge energy advantage. So we're going to look to basically just no shield our Tangrowth. We now know that our win con is 2 shields on Lapras because that Charizard doesn't have a move yet. Having thrown the Dragon Claw on the Venusaur, the Venusaur is going to be able to take out Tangrowth here, but that's totally fine because we can basically come in with our Lapras and just go for Surf. If they don't shield the Surf, then we can Ice Shard down. If they do, we get shields. So we are able to draw 1 shield. We sneak an Ice Shard through. That's quite good for us. We're going to obviously have to shield all the Frenzy Plants here. So I'm making sure that I always have a Surf banked in case they decide not to shield. So we're going to throw another Surf. They do decide to no-shield that. And then Charizard comes in, going to throw one more Surf here. This is going to get the shield. We do get the shield, that's fine. It wouldn't have KO'd anyways. We just need 3 more Ice Shards, and we're able to get to another Surf. That Charizard was definitely trying to double up. I think they probably had the Dragon Claw, but they definitely didn't have 2. So we're able to Ice Shard down and take the win there. Alright, next battle here, we've got Lapras into Dragonite. This is what we like to see. So we're going to swap out into Machamp, they're going to swap out into Machamp, and we're going to get our Venusaur on this. I am going to decide to shield the Rock Slide here, and then I'm going to go ahead and go for a Frenzy Plant. And we get the shield there. This is likely another Rock Slide. To be honest, I think I should probably shield this. I think that winning switch in when they've got a Lapras is important enough that I should just shield the charge move there. But I decide to take the shield advantage. They can farm down. I go into Tangrowth now, and they've got a Gengar in the back. I decide to swap out into Lapras. I think that this is a mistake. I should throw the Rock Slide first and then look to farm down. I think that's definitely the right way to play it. Instead, I'm going to throw the Surf at this Lapras, and then they're going to be able to farm me down. But you guys are going to see in this matchup that I make a pretty bad play here. I'm able to farm down the Gengar with Tangrowth, and so we're looking pretty good still. Because we do have a shield and a huge energy advantage. Dragonite comes in, and then I just didn't remember how much energy that Machamp had. I should have known that they had the Cross Chop, so I'm forced to use my shield here, and that's going to mean that the Dragonite can get to a Dragon Claw and take us out. We're certainly going to be able to hit them with a Rock Slide, but I needed to double up in order to take the match, so they're going to hit us with the Dragon Claw and win there. If I just throw the Rock Slide right away on the Machamp, I win that game because I preserve the shield. Or I think if I throw the Rock Slide at the Gengar before going into Lapras, I also win that game. So definitely made some mistakes there. Very winnable game. So far this set has not been great. I've won 2 of 4, but both the games that I lost were very winnable, and they were just bad plays on my side. All right. So the way I like to play Venusaur is basically build up to 2 Surfs and then swap out. Sometimes I throw an Ice Beam if I'm feeling frisky. This is the one matchup where I swap out into Venusaur, and so the reason I play it that way is that basically 8 Ice Shards gets them to basically Sludge Bomb range, and then that lets me and if I can catch the Frenzy on the Venusaur, it is really good for reducing that damage. So they do come into Kingler. I can just go for 2 Frenzy Plants here. Even though I got debuffed, totally fine. I'm happy to come into Lapras and just farm down with Ice Shard. Probably going to see the Venusaur come back in, so I'm just going to go straight for the Ice Shard, or sorry, the Ice Beam, and hoping that they decide not to shield this. They do decide to no shield. Very good for us. It's a Empoleon in the back, so we stored a Surf on the Lapras. We're going to shield up the first Drill Peck here, and then we're looking to make sure that they don't sneak in any extra Waterfalls. So we're going to throw 4 Vine Whips and then a Rock Slide. The bait here, I think, is going to be necessary to make sure that we get to the 3rd charge move. And honestly, they have to shield, because even if they get hit by a Rock Slide, it's going to deal enough damage that they have to worry about the cumulative Rock Slide damage. So able to get to another Rock Slide here. hopefully going to draw the last shield. We do draw the last shield, and then we can get to a Power Whip, and this is going to deal more than enough damage to take them out. So catching the Frenzy Plant from the Venusaur onto my own Venusaur there is really important because it allows me to tank that damage much, much better. Yeah, so that is, those are the battles. So able to win 7 of 3, but definitely should have been able to go 5-0 in that second set. All of those were winnable games. I just made some pretty costly mistakes. But thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video.